Okay, I'd like to call the Wells County Regional Sewer District Board meeting, October 31st, to order. Please stand as we do the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Andy, would you lead us in prayer?
Sure. Father in heaven, Lord, we want to pause before this meeting, Lord, to thank you for your providence, for a beautiful fall day, for the sun. We thank you for paving the way already with some good financing terms to the state to get to this point, Lord. And we pray that you would just give us on this board a spirit of stewardship as we look to adding some options for sanitary sewer in the toxin area. We know that this is a change, and there's questions, Father. Pray that we could be helpful today, provide answers where we can, and just thank you for this opportunity to meet together with our fellow citizens and just dedicate this meeting to bringing the county a little bit more improved. So we pray these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Andy. Okay, looks like we got everybody here but John. And we're not going to improve the minutes of last meeting till our next meeting. Mr. Brown? Yes. You're up. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I put on here that Ryan may want to talk about the lining at the lift station, so he may want to do that. I always like to surprise Ryan.
Still thinking around the $40,000 mark for that?
Yeah, their number was locked in. They just had a little issue with the pumping people, and so they were going to deduct some from them, not from us.
Okay.
So, yeah, with the lack of rain, I haven't been able to do much investigating. Dry and I is just pretty slow and pretty steady, which is great for everything. We're still getting quite a few 811 locates every week. I did wonder if the board has finalized any pay package for an assistant, and we can talk about that at their next board meeting. So, yep, we did have lots of emails, and I'm sure that Ryan and Mark can attest to this. We had a lot of emails going back and forth. I did not realize how involved it is to get everything done to this point. Hanukkah Ringer has been working on some tax, working with us to get some tax for some of the stuff that we've been paying tax on.
Does she still need information from us for the utility
I think she
portion
does.
of it? Yeah. I don't know if we could stop in there at Honager sometime, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that. Anything else? John Shady said he would try to be here, but he thought with his work he was not going to be able to make it.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, hey, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
We've got our public hearing scheduled for 1 PM, but I know we were, I think somebody from Baker Tilly was going to be here. I don't see them yet, so Brooks checking, see where they're at. But I don't want to,
Maybe Ryan can give us an update on the Project 4, just an overview of where we're at.
yeah, we can do that. I think we can have Ryan do that, but I don't want to take any action on anything until
Right.
after we hold our public hearing.
Right.
And discuss the rates, so, but we can certainly do that. We'll see where we can locate them.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Few things to go through. Last meeting we talked about an inspection contract. I did reach out to SRF and inquire about whether or not we need to have a third-party inspector, and they have notified us that we do not, since LA has enough experience. So that's something we intend to bring up at the next board meeting for discussion. Really, at this point, just having you guys think about it. Part of the components
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Any word, Mark?
Yeah, let me check with Brooke here real quick. If not, we'll go ahead and, talk about the rate ordinance and keep the public hearing.
Pre-construction meeting with contractors, so like our kickoff meeting with them to kind of go through the project, go through more of the nuts and bolts of it, will be before Christmas. They're talking about start mobilizing sometime in January, depending on the weather. If we get a rough winter, they'll probably push things back a little bit, but if not, then with suitable weather, they're looking earlier than later.
There's Baker Tilly.
Press that button, yeah.
There you
Now it's on.
There he is.
How you doing? No worries, no worries.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Mark. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Good. Sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
Okay, Mark?
Okay, we're at the point here where we need to open up the public hearing. Before we do that, purpose of the public hearing is for the board to consider the amending rate ordinance of the sewer district, which is ordinance 2025-1. And this is an ordinance that amends and restates the rate ordinance. The most recent rate ordinance was 2022-7, which establishes the schedule of rates and charges to be collected by the district from the owners of the property served by the sewage works. So the proposed ordinance that we have is based upon the most recent rate study prepared by Baker Tilly, and Jeff Rowe with Baker Tilly is here and is going to go over that. But the good news is, based upon the very favorable funding package that the district received from State Revolving Loan Fund, we're proposing the ordinance, and what's proposed is to keep the rates the same. So the current full rates are $95 a month, and it's been the same since project number 1, project number 2, project number 3, and we're proposing to hold the rate the same, $95 per month for this project for oxen that gets added into the sewer district, so that and the rate's the same for all areas. There is an interim rate, and I'll have Jeff explain the interim rate. The interim rate is the rate that is collected once construction begins, and then when construction is complete and the notice to connect is issued, then the rate goes to the full rate. So anyway, that's the purpose of the public hearing. I'll ask the board for a motion to recess, temporarily recess your regular meeting and convene the public hearing that was scheduled and advertised here today at 1 o'clock.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, so regular meeting is recessed and public hearing is open. And I guess, Jeff, you want to discuss the rate ordinance?
Sure. Would you like me to sit here?
Yeah, go ahead.
The mic's on, should be.
Jeff Rao with Baker Tilly again. Apologize for keeping you waiting. So as Mark mentioned, just kind of wanted to provide a quick high-level overview of the project, estimated project cost and again, favorable funding on behalf of the State Revolving Fund Loan Program, and then we'll touch on the rates as well. So total project, $4,776,000. In terms of sources of funding, we have some leftover proceeds or remaining proceeds from prior projects to the tune of about $849,000, so just shy of $900,000. We've talked with SRF, and they've indicated that they are in favor of allowing the district to now use those funds for the existing or current project that we're pursuing now. So again, appreciate SRF's flexibility there to allow us to use those dollars on this current project. In addition to that, we had, the county has committed to contributing $200,000 towards the project. So again, appreciate the generosity of the county to see the merits of the project and offer the $200,000, which would not have to be repaid. So that leaves a balance of roughly $3.7 million, and SRF has offered in essence, it's a grant, but we call it what they call it is a principal forgiveness bond anticipation note. Basically what that means is as long as and that's in the amount of $2 million. It's obviously very significant there. As long as the district project proceeds and the district complies with requirements of the SRF program, which we've always done in the past, I believe it's after 3 years, right around there, then that debt instrument is just forgiven and it goes away. So there's no interest rate component to it. It's just principal only. So very happy with that. Obviously, without $2 million grant money, it makes these projects very, very tough to move forward with at an affordable rate. So that leaves about $1.7 million loan dollars, revenue bonds that would be issued through the SRF program. And that includes, and that would be at, under the traditional SRF program, which is the lowest interest rate, subsidized rate program that they have. And assuming a 35-year term, which we've assumed here, the fixed rate on that loan would be 2.22%. So very, very accommodating, competitive rate at the 2.22. A couple things about that 2% rate is for every additional 5 years that were added to kind of the standard 20-year issue, SRF does add 10 basis points to the interest rate. So we've taken that into account. But that's actually offset by a 50 basis point reduction, so a 0.5% reduction, because the project involves septic elimination. So we're able to offset kind of the additional premium that they would charge. So very happy with the 2.22% interest rate. And again, that's fixed for the 35-year period. On average, annual debt service based on that 2.2% is right around $72,000, $73,000 per year. Any, I guess, initial questions on the sources of funding or the repayment bond issue? So obviously we've taken that information, and as we performed the rate study, we looked at, and the district was very helpful in sharing historical financial information. So in the model, we looked at, okay, adding in, obviously day-to-day operating expenses post-project. So we estimated those to be about $316,000, and that does include some inflationary increases over time, because when we're going through the SRF program, we have to project out, at least 1 year past project completion in order to demonstrate the district's ability to not only repay debt, but to show that we have a little bit additional revenue coming in even beyond that. So the 316 is probably a little bit higher than what the current budget is, but that's the difference there. And then we've also added in, with Ryan's help, some additional O&M associated with the new service area as well. So that's how they've come back to the $316,000. So in addition to the $73,000 we're building in for the proposed debt, of course, we have the outstanding debt from 2021, the first couple phases of projects, 2021 and 2022. Those two combined, about $25,000 per year. So if you recall back in past projects, the SRF was very generous in granting a significant amount of money towards those projects. and really left hardly anything in terms of, it's a technical term, hardly anything in terms of repayment of debt. So about $25,000 on outstanding debt, future debt about $73,000. Two other line items we've added in to the overall financial model. Debt service reserve, you may recall prior bond issues that we issued, SRF and other agencies always require that we set aside funds each year for each month really, for a 5-year period so that we can accumulate a balance that's equal to the total combined debt service that the district pays per year. So that money is set aside, sits in a special account. We do earn interest on that account. But that just sits there. Once it's funded, it's funded. Sits there, continues to earn interest. If we found ourselves in a difficult financial position, cash-wise, we could always dip into that. We don't ever anticipate having to do that, but we do have it available. But that funding, that monthly transfer is built into the rate calculation as well. So that's about $16,000 per year. Sort of the last bucket of costs, if you will, are future capital replacements and improvements. And in terms of total need, we've actually likely built in a sufficient amount, a generous amount here. We know about $130,000 a year is what we built in. We know that that's probably not going to be needed immediately or in the short term because the system is so new. But the purpose of those dollars is really twofold. Number one, it's to start setting aside money, building funds over time so that as the system ages, we have that money there. We don't have to go out and bond every time we need to replace something. So that's really the primary purpose of those funds. The other purpose of those funds is to also potentially offset future rate increases to the extent that we don't need those dollars immediately. That gives us a little more cushion that as costs continue to rise, we aren't in a position where we have to raise rates every 6 months or every year. We've got a good cash reserve balance to fall back on. So $130,000. So total annual revenue requirements about $567,000. The current revenue coming in for the existing customer base is about $438,000 per year, which would in itself be a little bit short. But when we add in the future revenues from the toxin area, based on the $95 per month, that comes out to about $119,000, $120,000 per year. So with that, we're able to generate the amount of annual revenue needed to obviously support operations, but also repay the outstanding debt and set funds aside for future capital needs. So all of that is based on, as Mark pointed out, we were very pleased with being able to really target and stay with the current $95 rate per month. And that would be the full rate for the new, obviously the existing customers, but for the future toxin customers, that would be the rate, the full rate that would go into effect once the project is completed. It was also mentioned, we did look at a calculation of what we call an interim rate. Essentially, that's a rate that would be paid by the new toxin customers during construction. And we have calculated that rate to be $53.80. Really what that's based on primarily is to cover the debt that's associated with the new loan that we're taking out with SRF. Once we close, then really the clock starts ticking on repaying that debt. And so there will be some very minimal principal, but definitely some interest that's going to be owed on that loan during construction before the project is completed. So there is a need to collect bills and revenue during the construction period before the project's done. In addition to that, there is a minimal amount that's built in there for costs that the district will incur to basically administer service, but, you know, work through the construction process. And so there's things like administrative, billing, and some other things that are built in. Again, that's a very minor portion of it. Most of it is debt service related. We also added in the funding of the debt service reserve, because again, that's gonna start, we're gonna have to start setting those funds aside every month once we close, which is coming up. So that's about 67, total on an annual basis is about $67,000 per year. And so that's how we came back to the $53.80 per month. So in terms of, that's really just kind of an overview of the financial study and the rate piece of it. And I know really this public hearing is intended to talk about the rates. So I know we have more to talk about. There's other things. I'll just kind of pause there. And if there are any questions by the board or the public regarding financial matters or the rates, I'd be happy to answer those.
Thank you, Jeff. And also, I think, the way I understand it, the debt, as soon as we close, so we've got a pre-closing actually next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So we'll need Bruce, you the pre-closing, and maybe one of the other board members, Leon or Andy or whoever can be there. So that's next Tuesday in our office at 11 o'clock. And then the final closing, I think, is scheduled for December 2nd.
Correct.
Okay. And so that's when it actually gets funded. And so that's when the money gets funded. And in terms of how we spend those funds, they require us to use the loan money first. So you have to start spending loan dollars first. And so that's why the interest starts to run. Because as soon as we start construction and as soon as we start drawing funds to pay, they require the district to use those loan dollars first. Because if you get to the very end and you didn't use up, you spent less than what you thought you were gonna spend, then they don't give you the free money. Okay, they only wanna give you enough grant money to get your project done, and that's how the district actually ended up with some leftover grant funds, for lack of a better word. I mean, that's what I call it. It is a forgivable ban, but it's confusing. So we call it, basically it's a grant. But we had leftover grant money that has kind of rolled from project 1 to 2 to 3, and that was almost, I think as Jeff said, it was almost $900,000. And that's huge. And so fortunately, they've allowed us to hang on to that and to roll that into this project, because otherwise we'd be talking about a significant rate increase to even do this project. So that's kind of from how that works. So now we've got, for the purposes of the public hearing, I guess I'd like to have the board introduce themselves, so in case there's people here that don't know the board members. I don't know, start with you, Andy.
Sure. My name is Andrew Stoller. I've been on the board, how long was it? It's done, the handy little table here, since 2017. My background, I got introduced to the Wells County Regional Sewer District whenever there was a talk in my own neighborhood. So I've been there, and I know what it's like to be told in a letter that, hey, we're coming to your neighborhood and you're gonna have sewer. And so I joined the board back then, and it just stayed on and watched it grow. And I think it's a testament to the collaboration we have as a board, and with Mark, Baker Tilly, and Lewis. We've got a pretty good team here to keep things running. So it's been good.
My introduction won't be that long. I'm Leon Burning. I've been on the board since 2011, and I just wanted to help serve the community. That's the only reason, and it's been a fun ride. It's been rewarding, actually. So I guess my initial reason for being on the board was to be fair to the people. That was my number one goal. So.
Thank you, Leon. My name's Bruce Stinson. I've been on the board since 2019. It's been a pleasure to serve on this board. I feel we've accomplished a lot for the county, and that's what we're here for. So, John?
John Oman, been on the board since 19. I am the Director of Utilities for Bluffton Utilities, and so I somewhat represent the city of Bluffton as well. I'm a resident of Wells County, and just kind of help enhance the partnership between Bluffton and Wells County in this venture. So it's a pleasure to serve.
My name's Mark Burry. I'm the attorney for the district, and I guess I've been involved here with the district since we started trying to get Project One to go, and I can't even tell you when that was. Probably 2017, 2018 maybe.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
On there, yep.
But anyway, no, it's been rewarding, but it's also, there's a lot that goes on, so I appreciate everybody shows up to these meetings and asks questions, and hope we can answer them. Also, obviously, we've got Jeff Rowe. Did I pronounce that right, Jeff?
It's Rao.
Rao.
Yeah.
I always screw
That's
up.
all
Jeff
right.
Rao. I bet that happens.
It's very common.
Yeah. Jeff Rao, Baker Tilly, which used to be, I knew it as Umball for years and years, and now it's Baker Tilly. It's our financial advisor and accounting firms that have to prepare the rate studies for us and help us with these bond issues. And then we've got Ryan LaFell with Choice One Engineering. He's been our engineer on these projects since Project One. And obviously L.A. Brown. Everybody knows L.A. Brown, or most people. So L.A.'s superintendent and does a really good job, and he does a real good job talking to everybody. So anyway, so for the public hearing, it's open for public comments. I should have mentioned Brooke. Brooke
Absolutely.
Endenline is my,
None of us could do it without Brooke.
yeah.
Yes, his left and right hand arm, and he don't make.
Yeah, I'd have to go to behavioral health and something like that. But she's our, not the official board secretary, but she is the one that helps get everything together and works with the LA and the district to make sure everything works. Appreciate Brooke very much. So that being said, public hearings open to any public comments, questions. Please state your name for the purpose of the record, and we'll try to answer your questions and as we consider this rate ordinance. Yes?
Molly Hogue, what, the $95 rate, what is the expected time, like, how long will that stay that rate?
Well, we hope it will stay that way for several years, but obviously it could go up. I'm also the attorney for the Adams County Regional Sewer District. We started that district in 2008. We didn't get our first project actually done until 2016. The original rate was $93.30 in 2016. And because of the funding that we were able to get from SRF and Adams County helped too, we held that rate at that same rate for 9 years. And so we're just now increasing that rate of $5 a month. And so we were able to hold it. So the answer is that this board, I can guarantee you that this board will try to hold that rate as long as they can. At some point, it'll probably have to be increased, but it won't be increased until we do another rate study and we have to have another hearing and see what it takes to pay the bills. So,
Can I add to that, Mark?
absolutely.
Speaking for myself as a board member, I'd rather have small rates in increments, rather than one huge rate. So I don't know, I imagine we'll have to work with Baker Tilly on that, but I prefer smaller, because inflation, if it rises 2 to 3% every year, our costs go up 2 to 3% every year, so that all needs to be factored in. But I'd rather have small increases more frequently than one big increase every 5 or 6, 7 years, That's my take on it.
That's a very good point. Any other question? What's your name, ma'am?
Oh, Cheryl Howard, and that rate of $95, how much of that is to help pay for the project and how much is that for usage?
That's a very good question. Okay, so the rate, the rate is a component of about at least three factors. Number one is debt service. Okay, so you heard what it's gonna cost that's basically the mortgage. You gotta make the mortgage payment every month. So the rate is basically in three components, and it's almost a third. Almost a third of it is debt service. The other third is treatment, because then we have to send the sewage to the city of Bluffton, and it's metered, and then they charge us every month, so, the treatment cost. And then there is, overhead maintenance, repair, and just cost to operate the district. So those three things really kind of make up the rate. And I don't know, Jeff, do you have anything else?
Yeah, agreed. In this case, a little bit, generally, debt service represents about half of the bill typically. I know with this one, because we've been so fortunate to get grant, it's not quite that, which is fine. But yeah, I would say, roughly a third is probably a good estimate.
Yeah, because from project to project, it depends on how much grant money we're able to get. So in some of the first projects, we got, I think for project 2, we had almost 100%, grant money. We didn't borrow anything, so. But overall, over time, you combine all of the projects, and we want to have one rate for the whole district. It kind of works out to where it breaks down to almost that third. But yeah, you're right, Jeff. I mean, looking at this one, that 1.7 is a significant amount of the rate here. Anybody else? Yes, sir, what's your name?
Dave Burr. I just wanted to clarify, who's gonna be responsible for the maintenance of the residential portion of the homeowner portion of the grinder pumps, things like that? Service, you're gonna handle that?
Yeah, Brian, you want to address that?
Yeah, so the grinder station will be the responsibility of the RSD. The RSD is gonna take care and maintain that. So since it's a piece that's covered in the grant, it has to be covered by the RSD and maintained by the RSD. So that'll be covered. Your responsibility is essentially from where your lateral ties into that pit, that grinder pit, to your house.
The other question I have is, these are forced, it's a forced main, so what about power outputs? How does that affect the use of the sewer?
Yep, so typically you're on a well too, right? So your well's powered as well. So if you don't have water, you're out both ends, right? You need water to flush your toilet just as much as everything else. So that also can be, backup generator be tied into that system as well.
Right, so say pumping station's out, but I have a generator, so I'm, go ahead.
The lift station has backup power.
Oh, yeah, generator
Has
coming
backup
all over.
generator.
Yes.
Yep, so you're covered there, absolutely.
What are you doing? My name is Daphne. What are you doing to, all this is being shipped to Bluffton? Okay. Is Bluffton gonna be able to handle what's being brought to them, and are you going to have to update what they have?
John, you want to?
Bluffton is currently spending $31 million, $31.8 million on a new plant that has been rated and built for 20 years plus down the road. And the RSD's product was also projected years out. So we've taken care of those matters, and we're looking good.
Okay, so can you explain to me them? That's the sewer thing we're trying to use. Why when I cross that railroad tracks on Main Street there, why am I smelling Bluffton?
I wasn't aware you could, so.
Oh, really? Who else in here drove down Main Street and smelled the sewage?
You will from the plant occasionally. When the wind's right and the product's in the right stage, you will smell it there, but not really at the, well, it could be, depending on the wind, you could smell it at the railroad tracks, but every once in a while, you will. But the line of restaurants, maybe once every 5 years, not even, we might get a call or a complaint from someone at the restaurant, but rarely. So, and with a new plant, it should be a better situation as well.
All right, what was your,
It's not a welcoming smell
Yeah,
coming into Bluffton.
that's,
right,
that's the first I've heard of it in the
what was your name again? Sorry, I'm trying to keep notes here.
Daphne.
Daphne, what's your last name?
Daphne's fine.
All right,
So, yeah,
Daphne's fine.
I'll take that in consideration. Take that in consideration, and like I say, it's the first I've heard of that.
Thank you, Joe.
My name is Jeremy Rogers. I'm representing my parents, Larry and Lynn Rogers. I don't even really know what questions. My dad texted me a few. What is the, he thinks they're about
I would advise you to connect to our sewer right now.
It's over theirs is over 20 years.
Well, even if it's over 300 feet, we don't have jurisdiction.
We can't force you to connect if you're more than 300 feet, but now if you're within 300 feet, yes, that's right in the Indiana code. But if you're more than 300 feet, the district cannot force you to connect. But we always encourage everybody to look at their own situation. Whenever we got a project like this coming through, now is the time, if you have an old system, if you ever have plans to add on bedrooms or build a bigger house or add anything, then the cost to do that through increases the size of your current septic system is cost prohibitive. It would make sense to hook up. Now's the time because the district's gonna pay for that grinder. If it's a grinder connection, you know, and it's, you know, and then later, and the district pays for the cost to bring for the first round, 300 feet, bring the line back to you, set the grinder. Your cost is just to go from the house to the grinder and connect the power.
Okay. So the house, where's the grinder set in relation to the house?
Really close to the house.
Wherever you want it.
Normally close to where the existing septic tank.
They're not having to go out 300 feet to go out 300 feet to the road.
Not gravity, no.
Okay, I think that was probably, my guess is that was his concern.
Basically, if your system failed in the future and the health department is gonna make you connect, and at that time, then you're paying all the cost to get there plus the grinder.
Are they back at Shorty Feature's old house? Or
No, they built
That's
the house in
they're in front of it.
88, 86, something like that. They're right catty corner from the old Toxin Church. Right beside the old
Yeah,
McCollum
yeah.
house.
At my place where I lived in Adams County for 20 years, we were about 500 feet off the road. Adams School District was coming down the road. We were in the process of selling our house, and I got with my neighbor, and I said, they'll come back and set a grinder now. I said, let's do it, get it done. And I told the people buying our house, you want to connect, because right now it's paid for. You know, yeah, they'll have a sewer bill, but I had 2 distribution boxes go out. I had lids on my tank collapse, and I didn't want to mess with it. So,
Where is it running? Is it gonna, like, on 600 East, which side of the road?
Ryan
Like,
could answer
east or
that.
west? And on 224, which side? Where is it actually going?
It's on the west side of 600, and I believe it's on the north side of 224.
But the contractor is required to bring that service to your property line, to the edge of your property. So if it's on the wrong side of the road, you don't have to worry about it a bit. If there's utilities in the way, you don't have to worry about it a bit. That is the responsibility of that contractor to take care of. You're only responsible in your yard.
approximately how many gravity connections are we gonna have for this project, Brian, you know?
That's a great question, Mark.
I know we got maybe 70 grinders.
70 grinders on 103 total customers, I think is what it is.
So then 30 or 40 probably,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
The grinders are like $13,000, aren't they?
Well,
I mean, we don't pay for it, but isn't that what, I think you said at another meeting, that grinders were.
The install price that we received through the bid was just around 15,000.
And the grinder cost itself, it varies, and I know we get kind of a bulk discount. But what we're paying, what the district's paying is the cost of the grinder and the installation and all of that, so that's significant.
Okay.
But, you know,
it's very comparable, if you were building a new house in that area, it's very comparable to the cost of a septic system and maybe even less, because in your area especially, the soil's not very good. Being a septic installer for 40 years, I know what that soil's like. In fact, I might have put your dad's septic.
Yeah, you probably did.
I think I did. I would recommend that he connect. That's all I'll say.
That's all.
And I will be going to see the other neighbor that's back there in Shorty Feature's house.
Yeah.
At last meeting, they told us, because we have a sub pump, that we need to keep our regular other sewer system, because they're not gonna, because it'd be too much water to send to Bluffton.
Right, yeah. What you would do is you would abandon the septic tank and take your sewer line have to go up. We could not afford it. Because we can't, what God sends us, we don't want to mix with our stuff, your stuff.
Okay, ballpark figure, because I'm trying to do my stuff for next year financially. So, you would know this, ballpark figure, how much would it cost for somebody to come in and do the digging that we have to do in order to hook up, and how much does it cost to hook up?
As far as the district is not charging any, connection fee.
Okay,
That's already taken care of in the grant.
okay.
If you are building a new home and connecting into our sewer, it'd be a $2,000 connection fee. But that's already taken care of. Now, as far as, cost to connect from your house, you know, a lot of variables. How big is the septic tank? Because the pumper is gonna charge X number of dollars for that. And how far is it from from your house out to where the grinder or whatever? And by the way, I will be meeting with each one of you. We will let you decide exactly where you want that grinder. And there are a lot of factors, and we can go into all those as far as placement. I'll give you my best advice. We do have a contractor back there that did quite a few of the ones in Craigville. He can give you a ballpark. Was it around 2,500?
Yeah, about 2,800.
What if you have a backhoe and you know somebody knows how to use it?
If-
Can you do that?
Yes, that is, I will inspect. I will say this, that some of the do-it-yourselfers have done excellent, because they're afraid I'm not gonna pass it.
So-
But you are allowed to do that.
Yeah, we have there's a lateral spec that the lateral line from your house to the grinder pit has to follow, but it's a pretty common spec.
Yeah, we give you all the specs but yes, you are allowed to do that yourself.
When the district issues out the notice to connect, once the project is done and ready for connections, there'll be a notice to connect that's issued out. And in that notice, there's a whole packet that says, here are the specifications for making the connection, what you have to do. And so if it's a grinder, you gotta use, I think, 10 gauge wire, and it's gotta be on a twin 20 or 30 amp, twin 20 or 30.
It's on the,
Anyway, there's a specification.
all of that.
Because we don't want to throw breakers in the house. And then also specification on the size of pipe and how you bed it, and it's all in there.
One of the things to remember, and we actually had this happen in the Ossian project, and I'm not a part of, none of us are part of the Ossian project. Just because the mainline contractor, sets the grinder does not mean that you can abandon your septic tank. We are not ready to hook up until we send out the official notice. They actually had somebody that, through a misunderstanding, as soon as the contractor had left, he decided that he would, break his septic tank in and fill it in. Yes, that's a true story. We do not want that.
I might add that we do have a fund available to help people to pay for the connection, but you have to qualify as a low-income household. And the process entails you as a homeowner would contact your trustee, who is sitting right back there, A.J. Springer in Jefferson Township. He has a form that you would have to fill out, and if you qualify under the federal guidelines, there is money available to help for that. Not for the monthly bill, but just for the installation, so.
And that fund was provided by just local donations.
But yes, mostly members of the Chamber of Commerce have donated. We currently only have a little over $1,000 in there, so if anybody does qualify, we'll have to solicit more funds to go into that fund, but I'm convinced that that can be done. But nobody's going to be hooking up until another year or more anyhow, so.
I did have one person reach out to me already.
Okay.
They do qualify, so.
You think they will?
I got at least one person's already reached out to me, and they will qualify.
Okay, okay.
Good. Numbers.
Good to know, okay.
If anybody else has any questions, my information's out there everywhere right now, so.
Amen.
Any other questions?
what's the ramification for that when you're selling your property?
Okay, so if you were going to, are you in Toxin?
No, no, I'm on 224 and being forced to
Okay,
hook up
so if you're gonna sell your property,
without actually really notifying me until it was already a done deal. But I'm wanting to know, if you're wanting to decide to sell your place before all this starts, what are the criteria for that?
you need to notify the buyer in the
Well,
purchase.
I understand that part, but I meant your part.
Really nothing.
Doesn't, nothing
That's
changes.
not something
You
we were
need-
notified of when we bought our house.
Yeah,
New buyer.
well, you should, as the owner and the seller, you should notify the buyer that, hey,
Well,
I'm in the project.
Anybody with the right mind would know that, but I'm saying,
Sometimes they don't.
Well, some
I
of the
understand
realtors
that,
didn't
but
even
I
know it.
understand, is there anything on my part that I would have to do other than telling them if that happens? I'm not sure. I'm just asking, so maybe other people
It would
benefit.
be helpful if she would notify us who the buyer is so that we can update our records.
That's, yeah.
Right.
Oh, well,
Which is-
Yeah.
I figured that that would be part of it, I wasn't saying that. but
If
I'm
you
just-
call me, I'll give you the packet, there's 4 pages, all the information will be in there, you just send it to either, the office or, I can pick it up and,
Yeah, we could
take
give you,
care of
we
all
could give
that.
you the connection notice specification packet right now, and then you could just say to the buyer, here's what you'll have to do.
That, I'm not sure, you know,
Yeah,
you
no.
never know what life
yeah,
throws at
we
you,
can,
but.
yeah.
And then my other question is, I live on the south side of 224, so you're gonna have to go under 224, and there's a lot of heavy semis go through that.
Yeah.
What would happen if for some reason it would collapse
We would be responsible for
Would
it
you?
all the way to the grinder,
to the grinder?
all the way to the
And
grinder. yeah.
every house, whether you're in Toxin or anyplace else, every house has a grinder, is
No.
that correct? No.
There's about 40, I mean, the way the system is designed depends on where the pump station is, because that's what's pumping back to Bluffton. And so, based upon topography, elevations, and where everybody's at as far as their house, we want to get as many people to that pump station without a grinder, just gravity.
Okay.
But that all depends on height, and the farther you get out, then you may have to have a grinder to pump it to the pump station, that then turns around and pumps it to Bluffton, so. it
Well,
all-
that's why I was asking, there's a number of houses in right where I live, that I didn't know that everybody would have to have a grinder, or is it?
No, we would like, the more gravity, the better. We
Yeah.
would like to have less grinders,
But-
but it's not always possible. It is more expensive to put gravity connections in, right, Ryan?
Depends on the density. I mean, you know, when you're on 224 and those houses are further spaced apart, the density's not enough to warrant the cost. And so a grinder's a lot more efficient, cost effective. Now, when we're closer in Toxin, you get a house every maybe, 75 to 100 feet, it's way more cost effective to put gravity in, and it's a lot cheaper to,
Makes sense, because we live on this side of 4 houses. But also, people need to realize, like where we live, we were not told this when we bought this in 87, that if our house would have burned down, we cannot rebuild there because we didn't have enough area for to
Mhm.
put in a beach bed.
Each bedroom.
So this actually helps us, and it helps.
We have somebody in Murray right now that's just started a new house right behind their old house, and they would never have been able to do that without our sewer. So there's pluses for sewer.
Thank you for your answers,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. Any other questions? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
What's the, most of us have wells and softeners. What about running that brine or salt into the grinder pumps?
They're fiberglass, they're
Not about the components inside?
No.
It's not an issue.
no, won't hurt a bit, no.
to take a lot worse.
Yeah, because that goes into the septic anyway. They couldn't be
Right.
separated. Right, it goes in the sewers.
No.
That's a good question. I don't.
And I'm available 24/7, so, not everybody knows how to get a hold of me, and I'll be glad to come out, even before this project, gets started. If you want me to come out and look things over and give you advice then, but like I say, anybody that's on a grinder, and actually anybody that, we had a little issue in the Craigville project because, people assumed that
that's a good point. That's something you want to take into consideration.
We might as well mention one more thing. Anybody that has a grinder is gonna be required to sign an easement. Now, that does not give us permission to do anything we want to on your property. Basically, from my point of view as the superintendent, it gives me permission to come onto your property to maintain that grinder. We don't want things planted over top, well, we can have things planted over top of the line coming out. We don't want a new building over top of that line. But for the most part, that easement, and we have people that always complain, I'm not signing an easement, because that does get recorded onto your deed. The reason for that is, if you decide to sell, then we don't wanna have to worry about finding the new guy and having them do another easement. But if we put it on the deed, it's taken care of. I have permission, or whoever has permission to come on your property.
Yeah, it's a grinder easement, and it's an easement, it's basically what's called an as-built easement, and it's only, I think it's 10 feet wide, it's 5 feet from the center line, wherever the center line's installed, back to the grinder, and it's 10 feet radial, 10-foot circumference from the center of that grinder. That's solely so that the district can get in there. If the grinder goes bad, then, and you call, they can come in there and fix it, replace it. And it's just a document that's recorded, it's in your chain of title, and then you go to sell your house, it also lets the buyer know that the district is responsible to maintain that grinder. And so, anyway, that's why it's there.
And I will be around to take care of that part too, so.
Any other questions? If there aren't any other questions, I guess, give me any other comments, Ryan? Or Jeff?
I don't.
No? Okay. Board, have any comments or questions during the public hearing? All right, I guess I need a motion then to close the public hearing and reopen your regular meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, thank you. So on with the agenda, I guess let's go through before, we've got your contract is under consideration, the lowest bid, which is underground? Oh, VTF.
VTF.
VTF. Those are under advisement. You haven't made an award yet. That award will be contingent upon financing and final closing. But before we get done here, I'll come back to you, Ryan, and I'll want to make sure that we go ahead and approve that contract subject to final closing. So once closing occurs, we get everything signed. You have the contracts, probably don't have them ready yet, do you?
They're prepared, but we probably won't send them until after.
Okay, all right. So anyway, the next order of business, let's move on, would be consideration then, this is consideration of the inventory rate ordinance 2025-1 for this project for Toxin. This ordinance was introduced at your last meeting. It's the ordinance that was published for this public hearing consideration today. So for the board's consideration and action, the ordinance adds the Toxin project area. We've got the Liberty Center area, Murray, Craigville, Kingsland, and adds the Toxin project area. The final proposed rate stays the same at $94 or $95 per month. Interim rate will be $53.80 per month during construction for the Toxin service area. Does the board have any other questions concerning this proposed ordinance? If not, I'd ask if the board would have a motion or make a motion here to adopt this amendatory rate ordinance 2025-1.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, thank you. So the ordinance is shown adopted. We'll have, I know
Yeah, that'd be great. Yep, scan it. Same thing with the bond ordinance, because I think that was also on the agenda today.
Doing that next. Yep, yeah, we can't forget that.
Don't wanna forget that one.
Don't forget that. All right, yes, sir.
Is, like, when they start paying the 5380, is Kingsland gonna start the same time Toxin or to pay that?
Kingsland is already paying $95 a month. All of them.
Not all of it.
Anybody that's connected.
Yeah,
Yes, anybody that's
well,
connected.
but the rest of us,
You're right. Now, you're in the
it's considered.
project, the toxin project, because we only went just enough to get across that crazy railroad tracks and to our lift station. So, yeah, you're in the toxin project, and so all of the houses, AJ's house there, and all of those will start paying when we start the construction.
All right, so we've got the bond ordinance, and so this is ordinance necessary for financing, closing on the financing, issuing the bond anticipation notes and bonds through SRF. Baker Tilly assists us with that. So this is ordinance number 2025-2, and it's an ordinance of Wells County Regional Sewer District authorizing the acquisition, construction, installation of certain improvements for sewage work system of the district, the issuance of bonds to provide for the cost, the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenues of such system, safeguarding of interest of the owners of such revenue bonds and other matters connected therewith, including the issuance of notes in anticipation of such bonds, repealing any ordinance inconsistent. So this, as we covered this was introduced also at your last meeting. States that you can issue revenue bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $5,347,074, which you're not issuing bonds for that much, but you've got that kind of latitude. But anyway, this, like I told you at the last meeting, a 26-page ordinance, and I'm not going to read all 26 pages of this ordinance, but it recites the previous ordinances that you've adopted in the previous bond issues that you have. Jeff talked a little bit about that. I think, Jeff, the existing debt service for prior project, was that 25,000?
Yeah, combined for both. The last one was like 2,000, and the one before that was about 23,000. So total combined about 20,000.
That's pretty low. That's pretty low.
That's very low.
It's very low, okay. Because then we're gonna have debt service on the new issue of about 73, right? Okay. So anyway, this ordinance recites the prior bonds that have been issued and the existing debt service, authorizing the new bonds and the new debt service for this project. This ordinance is on file with the district. And let's see if there's anything else we need to cover on that. Authorizes the sale, the bond anticipation notes, specifies the creation of the operation and maintenance fund, the sinking fund, the debt reserve account, all those things that Jeff touched on. This ordinance authorizes and directs that to take place in order for the repayment of the bonds and for making sure that the funds are available to service the debt. And so this is, again, ordinance 2025-2. This is the bond ordinance previously introduced for consideration today. Is there any questions by the board concerning this bond ordinance? Need a motion to adopt this bond ordinance 2025-2 then for the Toxin project.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay, good. Thank you. So we've got that done. We'll get those signed here after the meeting, and then let Brooke get you signed copies, Jeff. Okay. Next item. Here, Brooke. Got a whole stack of them. The next thing I'd like to do, at least for purposes of the record, I think we've already done this maybe at our last meeting, would be to just have a motion here from the board to make the final Baker Tilly rate report study and recommendation a matter of the board's record.
I would make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, good. Then, so we've got, we've got a whole list of documents that need to be, signed for financing, which are all connected with the, bond issue, and we need those for the pre-closing, or send them off here prior to pre-closing, actually. So what I'll do is ask for a motion to authorize the board chairman and secretary to execute all documents necessary to complete the financing and closing for this project.
Okay, can I get a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, then we've got service contracts. Do you have, I think Baker Tilly, you want to get paid, don't you? Sure.
Surely not.
All right, so we've got the engagement letter with Baker Tilly. I've reviewed that, and it's their standard engagement letter. At the last meeting, I believe you already approved, was it the parity report?
That was a separate scope, because it involves some agreed upon procedures, it's a little higher level of assurance. We have to have separate meetings, so appreciate you guys approving that one ahead of time so we can start working on it. This one here is for the, kind of the standard scope of work, which would be the rate study, issuance of the bonds, and the work associated with the project itself.
And the rate study is, obviously, we've been working on that for quite a while.
Yep, on and off for the last couple of years, I think.
Yep. So anyway, that's the, need a motion to approve the engagement letter with Baker Tilly, and then also approve the service agreement for the rate study and the SRF bonds. And the rate study is $15,000. The bonds are much more involved, and that's $75,000. And so I need a motion to approve those documents and agreements for Baker Tilly.
I would make that motion.
We have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay, that's that one. We have, yes, this is the agreement for bond counsel, and so anytime you do the bond issue, as you know, we have to engage bond counsel, and it's Barnes and Thornburg, and they've already done a lot of work. They still have work to do prior to closing here, but their service amount is $40,000 for all the work that Barnes and Thornburg has done and will need to continue to do until this project is closed, completed. So I need a motion to approve that agreement with Barnes and Thornburg.
Do I have a motion on the table?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, and then ours is legal services for us for Milburn Brown, and this is for, started back basically at the end of Project 3, 2 years ago. And through closing, and also covers everything related to Project 4 until we issue the notice to connect, and that's $48,000. Any questions on that? I think it's actually less than what it was last time. 48,000.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
The last is for we prepare all of the grinder easements and then pull all the deed records for those documents and then get those recorded, and then we'll work with LA to get those signed. And that's something that we'll,
I'm gonna work on, getting my notary.
that would be great.
Yes, but eliminate some of the issues, right, Brooke?
Yeah. And that, this is the service contract just to get all of those grinder easements done, prepared, recorded. And it's $150 per grinder pump station easement prepared and recorded, plus the recording fees, which I don't know, whatever that is. Any questions on that?
Need a motion for that?
Yep.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, a second, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Sorry. I'm getting writer's cramp over here. My hand went numb. Thank you. Threw my pen across the room. Thank you.
So other than, when we get done here with the meeting, we've got a lot of documents to get signed, and we'll go through and do that. So I don't know, Ryan, do you want us to, I wanna make sure that we'll probably have, well, we probably need to have a motion here to authorize the chairman and the secretary to execute the, contract with, VTF as the lowest bidder according to their bid, and maybe a motion to accept that and accept that bid as the lowest responsible bid, and approve the execution of that contract by the chairman and the secretary upon final closing of financing.
On the condition that we take the lessons learned and apply it.
Do we have that motion?
I'll make the motion.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, and a second, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
All right. Anything else, Ryan, you have?
That's all I have for now.
Anything else, Jeff? I know, we're working on, I talked to Tony Crowell, and so we're working on the revised, or on the service area agreement for Toxin. I know you guys got a schedule you're gonna send me.
Yeah, I've got, should have mentioned that, appreciate the reminder on that. Yeah, we've got a meeting, I think internally next week, team that works with the city is going to kind of share what they come up with as far as the connection fee and, any adjustments and rates, and we should hopefully be able to wrap that up here soon.
Okay, good. I know we'll probably, need to get on the city's agenda. Do they meet every 2 weeks?
Board of Works, yeah, council every 2 weeks, Board of Works every week. That'll be a council issue. So it's first and third Tuesday at 5:30.
First and third Tuesday of the month, 5:30. Want to make a note of that, Brett? First and third, Gary, you can, first and third Tuesday of the month at 5:30, Burn City Council. It's not to be City Council, we'll have to approve that.
Yeah.
Does it have to go to the Board of Works first, or?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah, I knew what you started with the B. I knew what you meant.
I said Burn? All right, I'm losing track.
You're in Wells.
I'm in Wells County, yeah. Bluffton City Council, all right.
Brooke knew what you meant.
She knows, yeah. Okay, we'll wanna get that on their agenda. Maybe, if you wanna reach out to the city of Bluffton clerk treasurer and see if she can put that, just get it on the agenda for the last meeting in November right now. Because I think as long as we have that done before final
We'll need
closing.
it done before closing. Yeah, it doesn't have to be done before the pre-closing, obviously, that's next Tuesday.
040612. That's for Bree.
0612?
Correct.
And ask for Bree?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just trying to think, is there anything else? I know we've got easements signed, there's a couple other I still need to get signed, but we've met, LA and I have met those folks, so I think we're in good shape on that. And you're gonna get me a survey description, north, south, east, west,
Yes.
the quadrants of that abandoned railroad right of way. Any other questions? Board have anything else?
I would just say that if you want updates, we try to keep our website updated. It is www.wells, WELLS, wellsrsd.com. That'll probably be a good clearinghouse. I try to mimic any public notices that you see in the newspaper. I'll have postings there. On that website, you can sign up for alerts. You could give your phone number your cell phone and a email address, and those will come to you. Those notes, any public comments or any public notifications that we make will be sent directly to your cell phone and or email address that you choose if you want to sign up there. So that'll probably be one of from the month-to-month operations. That'll be a good clearinghouse for information. Try to keep that updated. You'll find LA's contact information there, his cell phone, and other ways to get a hold of people there too. So.
One other thing that Brooke reminded is, as far as that interim rate, we will be sending out a letter ahead of time, letting you know this interim rate is gonna start at a certain date. Once you do get that, have to start that interim rate, remember that just because the contractor is started, doesn't mean you're gonna see him. He might not be in your part of the neighborhood. He might be in Toxin or maybe down on the other end of the line. We had that happen several times. People say, well, you said that contractor would start. We don't see a contractor anywhere. But he will be, we will not have that interim rate start until he is started.
Jeff, I was making some notes here. I've got down right now the new debt service is about 73, existing debt service about 25, debt service reserve 16,000 a year. What was the capital reserve maintenance repair?
Yeah, about 130.
130?
Yep. Yeah, and the O and M, the operating cost, including the treatment, was 316.
What is it? Is that a monthly?
I'm sorry, 316,000.
Annual.
Annual, okay.
Yep.
I'll just say, okay, 360 annual, so I can.
316, 316.
316 annual, okay. Yeah, I like to have that, and then I can scan this and keep these notes. It's always kind of, when we start talking about things, it's nice to kind of know where we're at.
Where we sit, yep.
Yep.
One other thing, Ryan with the Wells County Health Department is available to talk to you if you think you may qualify for an exemption. You can talk to me or to Ryan. I know somebody would need to verify that your septic system is up to standards or whatever if it would qualify. But Ryan has been very good to work with, and I'm sure he'll be glad to help. And I will too, so.
Okay, anybody else got anything for the board? Well, thank all you folks for coming today. I hope we answered questions for you. If not, ask them. We'll try. Ryan, thank you for being here. Okay, can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Okay, nobody can leave until we get all these.
I have to leave for just a second, Mr. Monk.
You can go to the bathroom. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Sorry,
No, that's all right.
Good to see you, Brooke.